I want to provide an overview of S&P NetAdvantage. Now, NetAdvantage is something that has a good deal of financial information for companies as well as for industries. And in fact, the industry information is really valuable because that's relatively hard to find. You can find quite a few sites that have company analysis. You can go to Yahoo Finance, you can go to Morningstar. Some of these sites are in fact free. S&P NetAdvantage is a subscriber service that most universities, at least with larger ones with business schools, are likely to have, and you're likely to access it through your library's website. So here I've logged in to my St. John's University dashboard for NetAdvantage, and you can see the opening page has a bunch of information here. S&P 500 earnings, week of October 30th, 93 companies report. So it gives you some information here that you can find. But the more interesting thing, and here it gives you some overview of the markets, the world markets, the US markets, European markets, etc. A little bit slow connecting here, but there we go. US markets, European markets, so we can see the FTSE 100, the German DAX, Paris, etc. Now, let's take a look at some company analysis. So I'm going to look at Microsoft. So I'm going to type in their ticker of MSFT. And we get information on Microsoft. So get a description of their business, their industry classification, where their offices are located, and some other information here. And over here, there's quite a bit of stuff you can find, quite a bit of useful information. You can find out information on board members. Okay, Satya Nadella is the chairman and CEO, and then you can find out information on some of these other directors and their backgrounds. Industry classifications, and here they are in different categories. Direct investments, so companies that Microsoft has invested in. And you can see that mostly they're in information technology, some communications, some industrials, etc. So you can also see a bunch of other stuff, filings and annual reports, and you can get these SEC, 11K, 10Q reports, etc., etc. All right, if you're doing some analysis of the company, you may want to look at some of the financial information. So here we can get their income statement. You can also get their balance sheet and cash flow statement. You might be interested in ratios, some of their financial ratios, return on assets, return on capital, asset turnover, total asset turnover, fixed asset turnover, short-term liquidity ratios like the current ratio, and they give you 5 years worth of information here. And we can also look at, there's a tear sheet, which gives you some summary information. This was basically what we got when we searched originally. We can look at some key statistics, total revenue, gross profit, EBIT, EBITDA. And again, we can get those ratios, which we looked at before. And you can download these into a spreadsheet if you'd like. So let me download that. And we'll take a look, and you'll see it's all in Microsoft. So if you wanted to do some analysis, you could do that. Now, what's really interesting is to be able to look at industry information. So we could go to some industry surveys, and this is for the software industry, and you can see that they use CFRA Equity Research, and the analyst is John Freeman. And so you can take a look at these, and you'll get, and you can download this as well, an industry survey for the software industry. Here's a table of contents. So they give you a snapshot, some financial metrics, industry trends, etc. You can also get key stats and ratios for the industry. So this can be really useful because this is much harder to find. So you can find things like the price-earnings ratio for the industry, the price-to-book value, return on assets, return on capital, and a bunch of other financial ratios, growth rates. So this is really useful stuff. They've taken the software industry and they've computed the ratios for this industry. You can also look at some operating metrics, and you have some of the different companies in the industry. So Microsoft, Oracle, ServiceNow, Palo Alto Networks, total revenue, EBITDA, EBIT, etc. So there's a lot of really good information here on S&P NetAdvantage. So if your university has access to it and you're writing a report about a company, this is really a great place to go, because particularly for the industry analysis, because it's difficult to know how good your company is unless you can compare it to something. You can compare it to a leading competitor, but even better, you may want to compare it to the industry average. There's also other information, other things you can do here, like screening and charting, which I'll discuss in another video.